Hi everyone, good morning, afternoon, evening, night. I'm Thomas Roussel from Pixologic. Sorry. I will today continue my work on this 2B character from the video game NieR Automata from Platinum Games Square Enix. It's based on an artwork from Tim Lochner, not very sure about his name. I'm sharing the link of his ArtStation. Let me display it in the screen. Then I'm using his artwork, thanks to him to allowing me to use it for my character. Then this character, if you didn't follow until now what I did, the goal is to produce a figurine for 3D printing and of course explaining all the steps from the digital sculpting from the beginning until the end for the 3D printing part. Then I don't remember which part we are now. I think we are at part 5 and we are starting the part 6 today, where we will work mainly on the pose of the character and refining some details. Let me share the YouTube playlist where you can find all the past streams I did about this character. Then before starting, I did some quick 3D prints like I'm doing most of the time, just on some part, just to see about do I have enough thickness for some details? Is it enough? Is the size will be the good one? And just as a reminder, I will print this model in 1/5 of the size, which is approximately 32 centimeters, something like that, which is already pretty big. And then I did this kind of print. Let me switch to another one with bigger webcam. Okay, you see. Sorry, this is pretty dark, but I did a quick print with my FDM printer, which is in the background here, the Ultimaker 2 Plus extended. And also I wanted to compare with the Form 1. And for the Form 1, I did two different prints. This one, which is with the support, it's not connected anymore, but I just let the support on it. This is 100 microns resolution for the vertical axis, the same resolution as this one, see? Then same size, this is exactly the same model. And I also did the same one in 25 microns, you see this one, like that. And this is the second version because I did some change in between, and I will explain that later in the stream. And I also did a part of the shoulder and the arm, you see, like that, with the small rose on it. Then it was for me a good test to see if the size was good, because if this is just a part of the model, but enough to see roughly what will be the final size of the model and just see what is working fine or not. Then let me just go back to the hips, and what I did was to print then this part, which is just extract from this one. This is exactly the same. The only difference is that let me just zoom a little bit. I had some extra small details on the print. You see, I just increased a little bit the depth and some details. I did some extra details on this area that I will redo anyway after, because it was just a test for this one. And this is the second one. You see, on the body itself, no difference. But on the panty, you see, the difference in between is just the thickness of the panties, and I increase the contrast on some details. Because let me now switch to some photos. It will be perhaps easier like that. Okay, now it should be in full screen. Then what you see right now is a result of FDM print. Again, it has been printed with the Ultimaker 2 Plus extended at a resolution of 100 microns. I did a slow print just to avoid having extra issues with a regular nozzle of 0.4 millimeters, which is a 400 microns, and with a premium filament, which is a color filament. Then you see a lot of artifact here and there. To be honest, it's less visible when you see the model like that, because this is a close-up photos, and I increase some details when I edited the photos. But it's not as bad as you can see on screen, but it's not as good as it will be for a good print. This is what I said in the last presentation, the last stream I did, is FDM is great to do a draft, but if you want to do some accurate printing for figurines, it's so far from SLA printing or polyjet, I mean non-FDM prints. And you see on some part, you see just below at the bottom part of the back, you see some artifact that sorry, it's not very visible for you, but you see on these areas. It's because you have some overhang. You have a kind of angle like that, and FDM is not very good when you start to have this overhang on top of your model. And of course, for some part like that, you need to have support the same as SLA, but not the same one. And you see that if you want to clean this part like that, or like that, it's very, very difficult. It's almost impossible. That's why you really need to anticipate, again, all this support stuff. Also, some of the details, like all this one on top, they are almost inexistent because the nozzle size is way too big compared to the area that you need to print. And even if I choose a smaller nozzle, it will be kind of the same, a little bit better, of course, but not as good as it can be in SLA. But the benefit of that is, if I do a print, and I will do a lot of test print with the FDM printer, this is very cheap. For that in plastic, I don't know how many grams, but I have something like €1 of plastic, no more. And even if I want to print that faster, it can be something like 3 hours to print something like that. If I want to have enough detail, of course. I can print even faster, but I prefer to have some quality. Then what you see now is the first test print I did for with the Form 1 Plus. Again, this is not the last generation of SLA printer from Formlab. This is the previous generation. That's why you see a lot of layers line like that. And of course, this one is a large close-up. Let me just check something. You see the size that I have on my screen in 1980 for the resolution. This is 1.5 the size of the original one. Then this is bigger. And you see all this line. And you see on top of the panties, these details are way nicer. But I lost a lot of small details, and something you don't really see here is the thickness of the panty compared to the body. It's not that wide. It's the thickness is a little bit, I mean, it's not enough. I don't have enough contrast again between the body and the panty. And if you add some painting on top of that, if you are sanding, you may lose some detail. That's why again the contrast is very, very important. Then the good thing about SLA printer is that they are working with, I mean, they are using a resin, and the resin is very easy to sand, to clean after. Of course, you need to have the tools, you need to be very careful, but it's very easy to clean your model. While the FDM, you can sand, but you need to be very careful about the heat. Oh, sorry, hold on. The heat when you are sanding, sorry, you are sanding your model, it can melt a little bit your model. Then you need to be very careful. You need to mix between some painting, sanding, painting again, etc., etc. And it's a very long process. You can do it, but resin is way better. And for the next one, what you see right now, this is a 25 micron resolution, and this is not the fault of the printer, but I think I have some issue with my resin. This is an old resin I was using, an old grade 2 resin, because I need to purchase some some new resin, and I had it for a while, and I had some artifact that I don't have in the 100 microns resolution. Then I sanded a little bit my model. I have multiple tools. I will explain the sanding process anyway later. But you see the quality is way better. And for that one, I increase the contrast. And again, you don't really see that right now on screen, but the extra thickness I gave to my model is way better. But again, I may increase that even more for the final print. This is what I told you in previous streams, is the 3D printing is just polishing, let's say, some details, and you need to increase. And the model for 3D printing is not a model that you will use for illustration, for rendering, or video game. This is very specific, and you need to take that in consideration. Then yes, it has been prime, Pixel Design 3D. And the last one is a part of the shoulder where you have the rows, the small rows, and I wanted to see with the resolution if it was nice, at least to see if it was not too thin, just to see if I need to increase the thickness of each part of the rows, and it was nice. And you see for that one I just send a little bit some parts, but not that much, and you see all these small layers. Of course, this is not really visible. If you are looking at the parts like that at something like 30 centimeters, you don't see them. It's really when you do some close-up that you will see all these layer lines. And for the Form 2, and I hope in a month I will print with the Form 2, this is some layers that you won't even see with it. And for that, I print that at 25 microns per layer. I print it, in fact, both items at the same time. Okay, then so far I'm pretty happy with the results. Of course, I need to improve some stuff, I need to refine, but so far so good, let's say. Then I will keep this thickness that I'm using on the panties, increase it a little bit, and you see this model, this is the model before I did this test. Then I will need for this model to increase again the thickness on this part. And again, I didn't want to hide some part of the sculpting. That's why I didn't save the modified version. Then, if you have some questions about the 3D printing, just let me know now. Nothing. Yes. Daisuke-san, yes, dedication to the panties, of course. Oh, come on. I'm sorry, I know, but well. Okay, then for the pose. Like I said the last time, let me just bring back PureRef, which is a reference software that I'm using. Rebecca Dimembo, sorry. I'm using a Form 1 Plus printer from Formlabs, formlabs.com. This printer now is not available anymore. There is a new version, which is a Form 2. http formlabs.com. Of course, you have other alternatives, other printers, but so far I'm very happy with the printer. Then I will continue with this type of printer. Yes, I will show you later about all the sanding part and all the tools. Let me check. Where are they? Hold on, just a second. Well, okay, here. Quickly, let me show you some tools for those of you who want to do 3D printing or garage kits. Most of the stuff I have is Japanese stuff. I'm using these sanding sponges like that, which are 3M, and I don't know in the US, but in France this is impossible to find these sanding sponges. This one is a fine one. I have extra ones like this one, which is a super fine. I have an extra fine, if I remember. I also use, let me choose one which is not open. All these small sponges like that. which are the same thing, which is so convenient. And the name is God Hand Tools as a brand. And I mean, this is very soft. You have multiple, let's say, resolution. I don't remember the name, grids. And this is something like $3.50, $4 for multiples like that. Then I have full bag of just sending stuff, in fact. Which is very, very convenient. And to do all this cleaning of resin part, this is perfect. Anyway, when I will start to work on these parts, then later, probably in end of June, I hope, I will give the link to where you can purchase them, all the tools anyway to move forward. And okay, let's move forward a little bit, because it's been something like 20 minutes that I'm talking about 3D printing, of course, which is the subject of this this stream. But let's move forward because I really want to move forward on the creation aspect. Okay. And yes, I'm using the Tamiya primer cans, and I'm using also as well. Where is it? I'm using also the Mr. Hobby, Mr. Finishing, this one, the 1500, because you have the 1001 and 1500. You have to. This is just let's say the size of the paint, and I guess the nozzle which is used to spray the paint, which are pretty good. The thing is, they are very smelly. It smells very bad for that one, while the Tamiya is fine. Then I'm using both. The problem is to find that it's so much expensive in France for that compared to Japan. I think Daisuke-san, you can confirm this is the same can, which is 180 milliliters for that one. I think this is 600 yen in Japan, which is something like $6, while it's something like 11, 12 euros in France for the same thing. My God. Okay. Okay, let's move forward. Then let's deal with the pose. Then for the pose, what I will do, I will mainly pose the body and keep as much as possible the face like it is, because I know that I will rework on the face later. Why? Because it's not enough. I mean, it's close to what To Be is in the video game, which is in fact, from what I see, very close to a realistic character, while the character that Tim made is more on the anime style. Then perhaps at the end I will refine all these kind of items. And now I won't really work on symmetrical parts. I know that the legs are kinda symmetrical, the shoes I may do some edit, but now I think it's time to really move forward. And even if some part will be still symmetrical, I will work separately, and then it will break the symmetry even more, which is even better. Yeah. Okay, then to do the pose, what I will do, I will use just Transpose Master. This is another reason why I'm working with subdivision levels, because subdivision levels, the benefit is you are able to work on a low resolution mesh, and the plugin will work with, with all of these subdivision levels. And I go in the plugins, and I have my Transpose Master, and the idea is just to work with a temporary mesh, which is this T-pose mesh. Then ZBrush will compute everything. Let's wait a little bit. Nicolay, just to answer your question, do you need a powerful PC to run ZBrush? Well, it depends on what you want to do with ZBrush. If you really want to just doing some sketching, quick stuff, well, any kind of computer will be fine with that. But if you want to do some very high resolution model with multi-millions of polygons, then having a high-end, let's say CPU like an Intel i7 with multiple cores and at least 16 GB of memory is very important, and fast hard drive. Then I advise to use SSD drives. After for the graphic card, ZBrush doesn't use a graphic card, then it's more for other 3D software. But for ZBrush, let's say you can purchase a computer at $600 and it will run fine for regular stuff. But again, if you want to do a lot of fine details, multiple subtools, etc., of course a better PC will be better. Okay, then you see what I have right now is a temporary model again, which is just in a low resolution, and ZBrush has been able to do that because before, for all my models, I had these subdivision levels. If you are working just in full Dynamesh for everything, it won't work at all. Okay. Another thing which can be also very useful is to keep the polygroups as much as possible. If you are merging things, it's time to become sometimes problematic. You can kill your polygroups. Then the more subtool you have, of course, this is a more complex management, but it gives you more freedom in terms of modifications. Okay, then what I will start first will be probably the hips, legs, all these parts, then the arms, and trying to rotate everything. Then I will work again with mask and transpose to do the modification of everything. Just about Pixel Designer 3D is speaking about AMD computer processor. Sorry, I just doing a small talk about that. I received a few days ago a Ryzen computer from AMD. I didn't pushed it yet as much as I would like because I don't have the time yet, but AMD processors start to be very interesting. Of course, in terms of just single core, they are not as powerful as Intel one, but for I don't know what was the price exactly, but something which is very similar in terms of price, you have twice the number of cores, and ZBrush really love, the multiple cores, multiple processor computers. Then it starts to be very interesting, and yes, they announced to have processor with even more cores. Then for rendering, all of the 3D stuff could be great for Keyshot and ZBrush. Okay, then sorry for this. Let me move just down the reference because now I will pick my mask curve brush, and I will hide some parts like that one, because you see I will really work on this part here, and I need to take care about panties and everything. And to be honest, this is the kind of thing that I'm not a big fan, because sometimes I'm spending quite some time. Then I will do the pose of both legs at the same time. Why? Because it's very similar, and after I will refine a little bit this pose. And sorry, I said I wanted to have the mask lasso and not mask pen. And this is very important to be very close to what you want to do. Take care also because the lasso is grabbing what is in front of you, on the model, and on the back of the model at the same time. That's why it's important to switch very quickly to the mask pen brush. Where are you, mask pen? Okay. And then slightly unmasking. And don't forget that, oops, sorry, that the mask has multiple intensities. Okay. Then you can have some nice transition in between, keeping some part sharp, sorry, and other a little bit more soft. Okay, then I have this part. I can now inverse my mask. Let me remove my perspective, and using transpose to rotate like that. Okay, and you see you can start to do your rotation, and you see very quickly you can have some artifact like that. Then I can undo and just adding a little bit of mask. Okay. Why my transpose line has been moved? Okay, it's because of that. Then at this stage, I will need to refine everything just to dig inside. Let me check. You see all of that I need to just to polish, which is way too much down. You can move up a little bit. Picking your move brush. Okay. And I can remove my mask. And what I will do now, to be sure that I will work just on all these parts, I can use my move topological brush. Like that, you see, I'm affecting only the topology I'm clicking on it. I'm clicking on right now. Let me hide where I have my clip curve brush. Don't need to keep everything visible like that. I can even hide the panty, and that way I have more freedom to edit this part. And I can smooth a little bit. The problem is to be inside. You see, I have this part which is overlapping. Then it's better to smooth from the inside and not trying to smooth from the outside. Oops. And after, of course, you are able to sculpt. And the more you do at this stage, the less you will have to do at these stages where you have all your subdivision levels. That's why it's important for me to smooth and relax my polygons like that now. And trying also, if I can, to see where I have all these overlapped polygons. I can change my visibility to display properties to be in double mode. You see, to fix all these kind of things. Because again, 3D printing doesn't like all of these overlapped polygons. And this is the same if you're doing Boolean stuff. I tell you that it's more for ZBrush for R8. Let's try to start to explain all these kind of things now. And what I need to consider as well is the panties. Let me hide that, inverting, just to see what it should be. Because for the pose I have on my screen right now, it shouldn't really move a lot compared to what it was before. Then I need to adapt based on that, you see, for all these items. Then I know that for this part I will need to sculpt to refine what I did to smooth my model. You see, all these part which is behind the panties. And this is very important because when I will print, I will print the outside part of the model. And if I have some holes or some space in between, it can be very problematic for the 3D printing process. Then I will show you that again also later. I will show you later how you can work and checking your model to be sure that everything is fine before sending to the printer to avoid any kind of issues and problematic model. And you will see it's very easy to have a lot of issues and troubles when you are printing. You see, I'm just pushing like that, and it's very important to again to work and edit all this kind of tricky parts now while you have very few polygons and while you still can change the pose very quickly. You have just one subtool composed of multiple polygroups, which are multiple parts. And you see, oops. Then I'm trying again to fix everything which is kind of symmetrical. You see, I smoothed everything, then it moved a lot of things up and down. I should see all of these overlapped polygons. Well, it's not a big deal. I just need to be very careful about all of that now. Yeah, I feel like a kind of pervert right now, because in the beginning I'm working, I'm showing only this part. I'm sorry. But this part, I'm sorry, but in the game this is very important. Okay. But again, the good thing is I have all these subdivision levels, then I know that I will later fix all these things with the final model. And I will have more polygons, more subdivision levels. You see at this stage, you see this, just this silhouette on this part. This is very difficult to work on it because of the lack of polygons. Okay, and I will keep it like that. I will just continue to work on the pose, just on the legs, because I will refine anyway just that after, because I need to work on this silhouette. It's yeah, I pinch that a little bit too much. Okay. Okay, sorry. Well, when 3-ternal, it's not a time-consuming process. I'm talking a lot. Then I'm explaining things. I'm working way slower than I should work, and I've been able to do a full figurine in less than 8 days. The figurine, which is, I don't know if you see it in the background, I have a small gray one. Let me just grab it. You see this one? I did for the Wonder Festival a year ago. I did everything in a week. then it's doable. And a week for a 3D print, just for, of course, no painting, but it's quite fast. Okay. But after, you know, this is a matter of how much detail you want to add, how much you want to be close to the original illustration if you have one. What is the goal? Again, if you want to produce, to mass produce your figurine, then you have all the molding aspect. Then you start to mix between the, both artistic aspects and the production aspect. And in this kind of process, this is not the artistic aspect which is time consuming. This is the production aspect and all the constraint. And again, this is, it depends really about the how much time and what you really want to do with it. Okay, let's go back on this legs. Rotate. And I think it's, yeah, it's a bit more, but I think I will do it in 2 parts. It will be a bit smarter. Oops, rotate, sorry. Move. And something that I can use as well is the topological masking, but so far I don't need it. Okay, it should be okay like that. See, I need to fix all these stuff, and you see I have a kind of dual edges. Don't forget that I have the internal part and the external parts on my model. That's why you see both. But again, I will work on that just later. And you don't need to keep all the polyframe visible. This is just because I prefer working that way. And I will need to sculpt the knees because they need to be a little bit different. Why when I'm streaming I'm receiving so much text messages on my cell phone? Okay, stay like that. And now what I will do, I will work on just one of the legs, and I will fix the knees anyway after. Well, no, let's do it now. Okay, save my project. Bcoast, sorry for your nickname. I don't really know where you can get your print for high quality gray resin. In fact, the resin doesn't care, because most of the time you need to prime your model just to send it and clean it. And it can be transparent resin, can be gray, white, whatever. Then you can go to Shapeways and Sculpteo. I guess they have high resolution prints, but I don't know, in fact, in terms of big companies, which one is the best for high quality prints. Sorry, it's very difficult because I don't look at that anymore, because I'm working myself with my own printers, And I know that a lot of artists now are really looking about using their own printer as well. And it's sorry, it's very difficult to give you an answer, unfortunately. Let me just check, because I would like to know. Okay. Sorry. I need to take care if it's not related to the work. Okay. Again, I'm working on the pose itself, and after I will refine everything, because you see that for the leg is not good at all. It's kind of weird. She has her knees more, I mean, outside, which is weird because it's way too much outside. I should have done that earlier. I guess I will need to do a lot of fixes. Okay, then I will start to kill the symmetry now. Or something I need to do. Yeah. Let's take my rotation, transpose for rotation, just in between that, inside. Okay. Yeah, I did a mistake by doing that. Yeah, because I have two parts now. If I want to select just a part like this one, let me move to transpose to have the topological masking that way. And now I need to revert that. Oh, sorry. Doing the same. Okay, and now I hope it will be okay. Let me just do a quick test. No, it's not. Ah! That's too bad. I didn't think about that when I did both parts together, just split it. Then I think I will just kill the internal polygons, but it's a problem for now. I wasn't smart enough, unfortunately. Then let's do that the old way. Don't forget to play with the visibility of your model. This is very important. Let me think about one thing. Yeah, just working by polygroups. Sorry, I don't look at the chat right now. I will just do it very soon. I'm sorry. You see what is happening right now. Okay, that way. And now I can work on everything. Let me hide that. Going back to my regular mask pen brush. I'm inverting. Let me, display everything. Now I can, see, fine, and I can rotate. Back. Okay, I really need to work on the knees. It's so ugly. But I guess later I will remove the internal part just to keep just one item because it's way too problematic. Now I will select all the bottom parts, mask lasso. Let me hide these items. Let me smooth a little bit the mask. Just control click, rotate. Need to remember, yeah. I'm sorry, I'm looking about just the strength, the force when you are just grabbing something, then your body. Okay. Yeah, no, I can't really hide a part and extend the selection because these parts are not connected together. They are just different shells. That's why it doesn't work. But I can improve that later. It's not a big deal for me. Yeah, and Daisuke, no, I don't really want to change the polygon I have right now. That's why I'm working this way. Okay. Yes, Pixel Diode 3D. You're right. You can look at at 3dhubs.com because you can find people not so far from you who are 3D printers and perhaps high resolution printers, perhaps a Form 2 or other printers, which could do the job. Then just try that. It could work. Okay. No, not okay. Rotate. That, and when I move, need to move slightly on the side. Okay, let me see. Yeah, I really need to work on the legs. No, smooth. Wrong ID. Let me check. Yeah. Okay, I need to think about the pose, because I need to bend everything, because the head, you see, is bended on the other side, meaning that if I'm taking transpose, she should be that way for the head, and then the body rotated just in this direction. Well, now I think I will rotate the face, and if later I need, I can do another mesh anyway that I can replace. You see, the problem again is to really think about the strategy. The action that you are doing now may have a huge impact on what you will do after. And in terms of impact, meaning all the technical aspect. You see, I didn't anticipate the problem about posing with the tight and the legs. Now for me it's a problem. Then if I do the same for the face, perhaps it will be a problem as well. But well, the problem is I think it will look off if I'm not doing that right now. Let's just rotate the face. I will do it now. No. Oh, let me do something else first. Let me rotate the head on this direction, and now let me bend and move slightly on the side, and I need to rotate it as well. Let me hide that. No, I think I will fix that later with just my model with my subdivision levels. It will be easier to follow the modification that way. But you see a lot of polygroup. This is very easy to isolate some parts or not. Okay, now I will do the arms. I think I need to move them more inside for the legs. Perhaps I will do another Transpose Master later. Let me just do a first iteration. Let me save my project as well, at least once. Come on. Like that I can look at the chat. Yeah, Daisuke-san, I agree with you that it takes so much time. I mean, when you start to break your symmetry. It already happened to me that I break the symmetry too soon in the process, and oops. When you see this warning, this is because I have too many undos. Let me just kill some model. Delete all. My T-pose. Why do I have so much? I didn't do anything for that one. I don't know why. Edit, delete, undo history. Let me save again. What was the size? 4 GB already? My god. Most of the time, again, I'm using Z tools and not project, but since I have the T-pose saving that one, I prefer saving a project. Okay, now it's fine. Okay, for the arms. Then the left one will be easy. Of course, I will have some artifacts, you see, because of the dynamesh that I have for this part. Then let me hide again some parts which are for me more annoying than anything else. Okay, yep. And if it's not perfect, it's fine, because these parts are just part of the cloth and I will be able to really sculpt that easily. Then it should be okay at this stage. But I will need to bend the arm separately. In fact, I will bend this part, and after I will doing the rotation, the twisting of the wrist. Rotate. I didn't took the good angle because it's a little bit on the front, but not that much. Take care of not doing a move, but just only a rotation. It's so easy sometimes in ZBrush to do the mistake. Then I can, oops, sorry. I prefer fixing this part now. Let me hide the polyframe, which is useless. Okay, I will sculpt anyway later. Woo! Again, this part won't be visible. It's not a big deal, but it looks really weird. Really weird. Okay, then let's do what I wanted to do, is to use, oops, move topological. Why I can't pick? Why? Okay. Well, I will fix that later. Then what I wanted to do is come on. Yes, exactly. If you have some trouble with the size of your file, just kill the undo history, which can be found in edit, and you have this delete UH, which is delete undo history, and then it will kill that. And you can do that for a lot of subtools. This is what takes a lot of space when you are saving. It's the undo history most of the time. Okay, then let's do, come on. Okay. I just did a topological masking. Should be okay. Erase a little bit. That part. And again, I don't need to focus a lot on this part right now because I won't use just to close the hand by itself. I mean, I have another subtool connected to this part. Then I will do this part later. I really want to focus again on the wall part. I mean the wall part, the wall body by itself. Okay. Now the other arm will be way more problematic. I think I need to give some angle because the arm is more that way. Rotate, the shoulder should be around this position. Sorry, I'm trying to think at the same time. I'm not sure about how much I want to twist everything. Oh, I know what I need to do. I know what I need to do. Oops. Nope. Come on, Thomas. Mask pen. And that's why my leg need to be more higher. All these edits. But the pose is as important as the design by itself. That's why it's important to focus on them. Perhaps I can do something else. What if I'm using my topological masking? One side, not the other side. Yeah. Okay, I will deal with that. I need to put some hotkeys for the masking. I'm losing too much time with that. Sorry, I don't talk a lot right now, but I really want to refine that as much as possible. Perhaps it would be better to do that separately, in fact. Yeah. Hello, Patrick. We have someone from NieR Art, which is how do you say Luxembourg in English? Luxembourgian. Working for NieR Art, which was one of our sponsors for the ZBrush Summit, who are doing fantastic sculpt figurines with the help of ZBrush. Just look at NieRart.com. Patrick, feel free to type the address of NieR Art in the chat. I allow you to do some advertising. Yep. Yeah, it's not that I'm in stress mode. It's, well, I don't want to kill the model right now, and it's so easy to do something wrong. And I don't want to do something wrong, of course. Definitely I don't want to do something wrong. Lasso. That's why another reason is when you have a good topology, even if it's not perfect, but you can use this function like the topological masking to refine your model. Let me move a little bit down. it starts to go in the good direction, but I need to have something more in line like that. Let's do the arm, and then I will refine the curvature of the model. Yeah. No, I'm not using the contact feature. It can be useful to deform some models just too subtle together, but as soon as you to do these kind of things, well, not a big fan. After, of course, why not? But it's not what I will use. Okay, then I don't like what I will do now, because this is definitely not where I'm good at. Oops, I think I forgot to unmask some parts. My shoulder is at a good location. Yeah, the rows will be an issue. What I will do is I will kill these rows. I don't care if I won't pose it now, because I prefer duplicating one of the rows, and I don't. I hide both of them, and be sure that later I will insert it back. The problem is when you are, for some meshes, when you are using Transpose Master, if you have some parts which are just at a bending location, you can do some stretch. Like for these rows, can be stretched, which look weird, and it should be just stretched below for the clothes, and then on top of that should be the rows. I had an issue with where is this model. This is a very old one model. Let me switch to the other camera. I don't know if you will see it. Where it is exactly. You don't see them, but I mean, don't really see them, but you have all these kind of small accessories, and more important, you have the one on the shoulders and on the arms, all these kind of things. So the problem is when I did the pose with Transpose Master and with all these items, which are hard surfaces, not soft surfaces, not really organic stuff. And then some of them, it's not, again, not very visible for you, but they are slightly bended and it looks weird. And that's why it's important to keep in mind that some items need to be added after the pose and not before the pose. This is the first model I did with the Form 1. Something like 60 hours of print or 70 hours, something crazy. Yeah, I know it's... let me switch to what it is right now. Yeah, I need to change it a bit, the face. Let me switch to perspective as well. More like that. Yeah, it's slightly different. Again, I'm not trying to reproduce at 100%. You see, it's a little bit slightly different. I need to really work on that part, but again, I'm not trying to do exactly the same thing as the illustration. I mean, it could be done, but it will take so much time to do that. Ah, okay. Thank you for the reminder for the camera. Sorry. Yeah, yeah. What I was just saying. Sorry. That you see, if I'm going like that, there is some slightly differences between both. But oh, shit. Let me fix that now. You have that when you are, of course, the problem is I have no idea when it was. Let me just go back in history. Okay, it was at this stage, and the next one was when I increase. Okay, then let's go back now and doing again this operation. Yeah, it's okay now. Let me remove the symmetry. No, she should be that way. And yeah, should be a bit lower. Anyway, I will keep it like that for now. Yeah, going back in history is always great because you can do all these kind of small fixes, which can be, let's say, annoying. Okay, then for that one, let me hide this one. Now invert my, it was the other side. Come on. What I, oh, okay. Sorry. Okay, I'm back in on track, sorry. Sorry again for my English, sometimes it's, yeah, well, it could be better. Now let's rotate. And for that, let's move, sorry. You see what is happening when you are hiding some part of your model and you are doing some poses? See the panties? Come on. I'm doing a lot of mistakes today. I will need to fix that. What is, okay. I understand now. This is all the stuff I will need to fix after. Again, I will continue to work with that with the sub tool later, because it's way too stretched, but perhaps I will just do a kind of retopology and then resculpting this part. yeah, I have a real problem with my arm, because also this is another mistake, is I need to move up the shoulder on this location, which I don't know why I didn't think about that earlier, sorry. I'm never doing something perfect at the first try, never. And when I mean never, it's really never. And sorry, Thomas, don't do again the same mistake. Let's hide that. I will resculpt everything anyway. It won't be visible, but well, it's always better to be as close as possible to what it should be. Yeah, that way, front side. We have a specialist here, Patrick, then feel free to give me some comments if you want. You can put the shame on me, I'm fine with that. Rotate, Thomas. And now no. Okay, I thought it was me. Okay, let me think about what I have right now. I think I will stick with that for now. Should be more like that. Yeah, I need to fix that after, but it's annoying me to be that way. I think that. Oh, yeah. So I need to try because I think you are going in the other direction. Sorry, I'm thinking at the same time. Because yeah, it's look a little bit off. Let me move the panty. Yeah, it's better if I fix it now. Yeah, it looks totally weird, I think. I don't like what I have right now. Yeah, and more important, I really need to have something. I mean, the whole white of the body is on one arm, and that's why I think I need to rotate everything, and it should be more that way, in fact. Sorry. And it should be more on the back as well. Sorry, I really need to focus on what I'm doing right now. That's why I don't talk that much. Why I can't pick this part. Yeah, and I think it should be now in the other direction. It will be more logical. Yes, I'm right? Correct? Please let me know. This is where you see the real artist and people like me. Transpose. I need an undo for you. I have my body mesh arc, but I need more detail on eye and ears and also fingers. Should I create them in separate poly groups? Then I can increase those area poly count. If you are in Dynamesh, if you are working with poly groups and stuff like that, it won't have an impact at all. Because Dynamesh is really working globally on your model. Then I would say just increase your Dynamesh resolution, to be honest. I don't see a real benefit of using something else. Okay, the problem is since I break everything before, now it's really off. Need to fix that later, but I know I'm always saying I need to fix that later. I think it's, yes, it's better that way. Let's just hide that and let's loaf a little bit. Well, let me know, what do you think at this stage right now? I may be able anyway to fix again later the pose, since I will still keep my subtool almost until the end. Then I need to refine a lot of things, but like the small knot like that, anyway, I have that part that I need to fix as well. I don't like to have this subtool being connected together, then I need to fix that. It will be problematic for the 3D printing. Okay. Yeah, I think I need the hashtag need to fix laser. Issue there. If you want to do this kind of changes about the problem of resolution, you are lacking resolution somewhere more than the other part, it's because you are not using the good technique. Dynamesh is great to define the shape of the object, to go, let's say, from a base mesh to a medium resolution. But as soon as you really want to do all the small details, the fine details everywhere, it's better to work with subdivision levels, where you can go more in details, like I'm doing right now, and you have way more control. And then you can have multiple subtools, one for the head, one for, let's say, the arms, one for the legs, and then you can have different subdivision levels per subtool. While Dynamesh, right now, you're working globally, then you are keeping everything just as a single model, then you have more restriction. Then if it's still at a concept stage, then yes, you can create some polygroups, and using in Dynamesh, sorry for the small off topic, you go in Dynamesh and then you have the group option. Just remove the projection here, group option, and then it will split that as multiple parts, but it will still be multiple polygroups. Then it's a bit tricky, but you will need to create one polygroup per shell that you will create that way, and after splitting everything as different subtools. But well, this is this part which are a little bit technical. I'm sorry, I can't really show that right now because this is totally off topic. It's not that difficult, but you need to know the steps. Yeah, I'm annoyed with the position of my head. I really want to change that. Nope. Nope, Thomas. I'm waiting ZBrush for R8 to enjoy the gizmo for all this type of operations, like you have in ZBrush Core already. If you already tried ZBrush Core, I'm sure you know what I mean by using the gizmo in ZBrush. Save. No, my website is only in French. I have a little bit of English stuff. It's not that I don't want, but I really don't have the time to work on English content. It's very, very time consuming for me. Right now I'm doing the translation of my Form 2 review, because I have a lot of questions. It will be more helpful for me to translate and sharing, but it's just a matter of time, and there is so many trainings available in English that, well, why being in competition with other artists which can do things better than me first, and of course in English. And well, okay, I will stick with that right now. We'll start to improve a little bit. Yeah, no, the head, it's totally off that way. It was better before. Sorry, let me undo. Yeah. Yes, I want to undo 44 levels of subdivision. Okay, then let's untranspose that. Yeah, autosave always come in bad timing, but I prefer to be interrupted by transpose and then save my model if something goes wrong than something else, of course. Okay, then let me save again. Let me delete my undo history, because I don't know why it's using so much memory. And let me save. If you have some questions so far. Yeah, thank you for sharing the links to the polyskin material I'm using. It's on my website, polyskin.com/téléchargement. Sorry, this is in the French section. Okay. Then now to revert to my subtools, I need to go back to this one. Then in the Z plugin palette, I click on this typos to subtools. Why? Typos for... Ah. It's because I saved my model. Because of that, perhaps. Yeah, I know I have my typos mesh. Ah. Okay, let me... What? 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 Okay, then what I will do is... What? Let me resave. I think he didn't like that I saved that separately. I think so. And then the name process has been broke, sorry. I love this kind of surprises. After spending so much time. Typos 5, yeah. Okay, then I go to that one. I can geometry, let's see if it will work. Modify topology, I will copy, go back to that one, and then doing a past replace. Okay, and now let's see if it's working. Let's hope it will work. It should work. Or something, I did a mistake again. I didn't check about the subtool names first. It's very, very important when you are using plugins inside of ZBrush to be sure that all the subtools have a unique name. And I didn't do that. Then I hope it will be good. Come on, let's hope it will be okay until the end. Woo! Okay, it seems to be okay. Then do I save or not my typos? I don't think so. Let me save it. Save a typos mesh. Okay. Let's save it. I don't know. To be honest, I learned very recently that it was possible to save a typos mesh inside of Subtool Master. Transpose Master, sorry. And then, like before, let me save again now that I have my typos fixed. Sort of file to save, but since this is a very, very important part of the process, I need to be very careful. And you see, I spent something like almost close to be 2 hours working on the pose, which is not done at all. I need to refine things, but at least I'm moving in the good direction. The only thing, let me just think about that. One thing I will do offline later will be just to clean the legs, subdivision level to remove, and just to be sure that all these parts are just a single mesh. Because it will be time consuming. The process is not complex, it's just working with doing retopology and removing some polygons and projecting details. There is nothing very complex. I already explained these steps earlier in the streaming, but since it's time consuming, perhaps I will do it manually. Okay, then now let's start to fix things like that one. Okay, move. And the great thing is now I can break the symmetry completely, totally, I mean. This part can be on top of the other ones. And I will need to give some thickness anyway. And I have my symmetry on, which is stupid. I need to move some part more inside because I need to Probably I will print this top part and the bottom part together, the knot on the back separately, perhaps in 2-3 different parts. I don't know yet, because I need to consider all these support aspects on my model, which is again very annoying. But important to keep in mind. See all these subtools, this is very convenient. Yeah, why I have something wrong? Again, I have my symmetry, which was on. Don't forget that the other subtools are working as mask to your model. Then switching to transparency mode will make them then non-working as a mask, not working as a mask, sorry. Also for the next stage, more the next stream I will do then in a week, I will create the pod. Perhaps not totally, perhaps I won't do the small details ever, but the pod by itself, and this part, just to start to have a kind of global scene done. I guess it will be helpful to understand better the whole, I mean the scene as a whole. Again, I have my symmetry. Then starting from now, for the left and right part, probably I will work as separate subtools. Like that I will have more freedom in terms of topology, detailing and shapes. I need to fix that part, which is a dynamesh anyway. Then I will probably re-dynamesh that. And again, I think I have, yes, the symmetry. I need to remove this kind of bended shape as much as possible. Need to fix everything to avoid artifacts with dynamesh. Then what I will do is, let me fix as well here. I will split both of them as separate subtools. And I don't care now anymore for the polygroups because, like I said, ZRemesher has some issues with fixing that. Then probably I will work just with Dynamesh until the end, at least for this part. I don't want to deal with manual retopology. Then I will go in polygroups and doing another groups. Okay, I have 2 items for 2 parts. I mean, as 2 polygroups, and I will do my splits, group splits. Yes, I know it's not undoable. Then I have my 2 elements. I have all this temporary mesh from the beginning. Let me delete them because I don't need them anymore. Delete. If I really need them, I can go back in history anyway. Not in history, but I mean in history for my own subtools. Okay. Transparency. Okay, then let's fix that transparency. My main concern about not having a low resolution is if I want to do this kind of changes. You see, it can be a problem. This is something I would redo, to be honest, if I had more time. But again, this is a matter of time, which I don't have. And for the Dynamesh, there's also the benefit to split these parts with the Dynamesh is that it will be a smaller bounding box, then I will have a better control on the resolution of my Dynamesh. While it's a big model and I need to increase way more because I have 2 parts at 2 different locations, which can be far from each other. Then let's re-Dynamesh that. Dynamesh, I'll keep the current resolution. Okay, that's been good. No issues at all. Then for the internal part, it will be cut anyway, because for the character, I will split approximately at this part when I will do the process of 3D printing, and like that I will print my hand separately, the forearm and the hand separately from this part, and everything which would be just inside won't be needed at all. It will be just a separate mesh. Then it's not really important. The same at this part. I can spend a lot of time fixing all this part. This is just for me, in fact, because only this part will be visible. But I think it helps understand if everything else is well connected or in the good proportion, because if the underlying part is wrong or looks off, then there is a high chance that the external part will look also weird or off. Then for that one, that way. Come on. Okay, now I really want to have this part non-connected as much as possible, because when I will work for my 3D printing, I really want to be able to have different parts and not being restricted by the assembly parts, how to do the assembly of each element. Then perhaps I will refine the hairs a little bit as well, but I want to have some space between all these elements, you see, that way. And this is the same for both elements. What I will do another group like before and doing a group split. Like that I have two subtools now. And this one, let me go back in, I have no, oh, I remove my subdivision levels. Control Z, dynamic subdiv, I don't want this dynamic subdivision. We do Control D and I will do Z remesher to have a better topology, you see, just to fix this part, which was kind of broken. And I will continue to fix, not later, but now. Sorry for the close-up. Let me hide some subtools because I don't really see anymore what I'm doing. Let me remove that one. And now let's fix again without the symmetry. That's the problem when you are breaking the symmetry. You have, I mean, it's very easy to forget all the subtools which are symmetrical, which had the symmetry before. And I want to have that as close as possible to the body to give again the contrast, what I was explaining at the beginning for my model. Also, another reason to use right-click navigation is you can always do your rotation or zooming and all these kind of things without losing the sight of your model. You really you are really on the location of where you are working, and then you avoid some to lose track of what you're doing. Just a right click. And don't forget something, when you do right click, this is a button on your pen, don't touch the surface of your pen tablet, because this is a left click. If you are just touching your tablet and doing the right click, you are doing both, both click at the same time, which is of course not very good. And it's so important to have a good control on what you're doing for the navigation. I need to fix everything here. My concern is when I will prepare my model for 3D printing is how I will split this part. Is on top it's very easy, I can just slice just below and behind the panties, like that for the top part. Then I have another part until this part in between. But my concern is, you see the panty, if I have some support on my 3D prints, or if I want to paint this part, it will be very tricky to access this area. And I can split just in the junction. I don't really know yet exactly how I will do it in, let's say, as much smart as possible, in a smarter way. I need to be very careful with that. Whoops. Sorry, I can't stay at the same location without editing stuff that I see directly right away. And you know what I will try to print for the next time is perhaps some part of the body, perhaps without not all the detail, but just again to have the model directly in my hands, to have a better understanding of the shape. It's very important for me, at least it's very helpful for me. Yeah, it will stay like that. No, not really. You take care at the time. Dressing 998. I'm using a pen tablet, a Cintiq pen tablet, which is a tablet with a screen integrated. And yes, no, I'm interacting with the chat, but sometimes I'm really, in my model, then it's very difficult for me to check the chat at the same time. Unfortunately, I think it's easier to comment, let's say, a game or thing like that, or when it's let's say really technical. I mean, when I'm explaining how to use ZBrush to people, how to use some features, well, it's way easier for me. But when I'm really looking about what I'm doing right now to fixing these issues, and I think I have quite some issues, it's become more difficult for me. And I will resculpt that. That's not brush. And also another reason why sometimes I'm quiet is it's not my language, and it requires me to be way more focused than I would do something in French, which is my language. And sorry for all these long silences. Okay. I should stop saying okay all the time. Then let's save. If I go all up, subtle or high. Then this is the current stage. Let me put the symmetry, the perspective at this stage. I need to work on the legs, which are a bit too fluffy. Yeah, I need to refine the shape of the legs. Of course, I have the knees to work all this area, which need to have some love. Yeah, the shoes are exactly not the same, but well, I don't care. Yeah, some details. Of course, I need to work on the folds, etc. Then all of these areas. I need to put back the rows as well. This one. Okay, and of course details for the hairs. And well, perhaps I will do the hairs because it's been a while that I want to do them. What time is it? Okay. Yes, right now the model is 27 millions of polygons so far. A bit more now. Yeah, I need to fix that right now. Yeah, it can be very easy to reach the 20 millions cap. To be honest, I have plenty of extra RAM on my computer, which is fine. I can go up to 100 millions of polygons per subtool. Of course, perhaps not so many subtools. How many subtools I have? I have 34 subtools right now. It's very easy, but you see, as soon as I will work on the hairs, just the hairs by themselves, I will add way more polygons. And I guess I will be around 40 millions of polygons at the end of the process, probably. But luckily, I don't have surface noise and things like that. I just need to work, you see, like on this part. F. I need to do some fake stitching, which will affect probably the other side. I need to be very careful. But so far, I don't have enough polygon to have some nice stitching effect. Then I will have another solution to increase the resolution. And you see now at 2 millions of polygons, it's better that way. Then I added 2 extra millions of polygons to my scene right now. You see I'm at 29 now. Let me go back because I won't do it right now. Hairs or not hairs? Let me think. No, I will do something else first. I will make these parts transparent. And I want to be in transparency. Oops. Ah! Thank you, Yon9s. Have a nice day, Daisuke-san. Let's keep in touch. Why do we have this artifact here? I don't know. And again, I need to increase way more the depth that I would want, because I want to have that really big, being really visible during the 3D printing process. I don't know so far my stitching. Okay, here. I will do only what will be visible. And what I do on this kind of models is I will add some clay polish, which is a type of filter in ZBrush. Let me show you that. Clay polish, it's located in the geometry palette, and it will sharpen the edges, you see, before and after. But it's working fine if you have enough contrast on what you're doing. Then you may need to increase some deformations. That. And clay polish. See if I remove the transparency. Yeah, it's too much. I need to do more. Do it more horizontal. Yes, I want to cancel. No. Yeah. Better like that. Same for that one. again some clay polish. Oh, let me see just before doing my changes. This one is visible on some areas. I don't know which one is the top of the others. I don't remember. Let me hide the hairs. Perhaps this one will be more, I mean, this part will be more visible at the end. At the back of the model. Sorry for my English. Start to be late. Now let's do my clay polish. Oh, let me remove the Dynamesh mode. I don't need it anymore. And now that one. We need to consider that this part will be very small on the face. Where is it? You see, I did this test print at the beginning of the stream. I don't know if you remember, not the stream, but this series of stream. And the head is, I think, twice as big as it as the final print will be. Then it's way bigger. But I did some folds and on the clothes. I mean on the eye band, and it's visible, but it's very big. Then I will need to contrast again the details to be sure to be visible. And again, this is probably a kind of test print I will do just to see if everything is fine and I have enough contrast. That's a lot of test print, to be honest, but I think it's, I mean, I have the opportunity to do these all these test prints. Of course, this is some material I'm using, but if I want to have a nice model at the end, some nice result, I think it's very important. Do it too much, I think. My folds are a bit too high, I guess. One thing about the clay polish is let me inverse my mask. I don't know if you see that. Let me switch to a flat color material. I don't know if you see, but you have everything. Let me inverse the mask. This is what you have after the clay polish. It applies a small mask on the area which has been pinched by the algorithm. Then you need to remove it, because by default this mask is not visible. It just it's hidden by default. If you go in the masking palette, you have this view mask which is off. Then just keep that in mind. Let me put back the hairs. You see, and the process for the hairs will be exactly the same. Then I will be able to you see, just like that, starting to do the hairs. Let me see the time. Yeah, I will start to do some of them. Then I can isolate that, and then starting to work and this is the part where I need to have a lot of contrast. Oops. I don't know why I'm moving like that. Yeah, it's better now. And if you apply a clay polish, you can even doing something like that, just to adding more contrast. After a clay polish, we'll give this kind of very flat and interesting shapes. Well, let me rework that. As you may have noticed, since the beginning, I'm using mainly the Darm standard brush and a few other brushes, but not that much for the other brushes. And if I do my clay polish like before, you see now I have something which is nicer. And if I bring back all the subtools, you see I start to have all the parts which look better that way. And yes, I'm using the lazy mouse, which is by default. I'm using the Darm standard brush with the default setting, nothing else. Let me do something. Where is my glove? I think it's my laptop. Yeah. Done. It will start to be very hot in my office, and my hands start to be sweaty. That's why I have some stroke. It's more difficult to have nice strokes. Sorry. And again, what I will do between this stream and the next one, if I have the time, is, like I said, I will split this part and I will work on the hairs like I did with the offline version, because this is always the same process and I don't want to redo everything each time, but at least you will have the information. Then I will probably record everything like that. If you really want to follow all the steps, you will have them. So yep. I think the hairs are the most annoying part in terms of sculpting, but they are so important, especially for anime style characters. And as you may have noticed, I'm not following the original design, because to be in this design seems to have more flat hairs, but for 3D printing it looks better that way. I should work one day on a brush like that, because Damsonar is great, but it's pinching a little bit too much sometimes. And it's very difficult to clean, and after having nice strokes, you see it starts to be a little bit bumpy on some areas. Not very clean. Clay polish. You can even try sometime to do clay polish twice, clay polish once, twice. It's great for, let's say, environment creation, when you want to have some rocks and things like that, before, after, of course, adding all the details. And you can remove, just going down in subdivision levels and then just refining a little bit the hairs together. Like that. Then you see the process. This is always the same process. Then if I want to do this big one, and it's saving again. No, I won't change the coverage length for that, because I need to work. I mean, this is a problem with the Damsonar brush, is sometimes because it's pinching a lot. If you're doing some movements, I mean, I already tried the coverage and I'm not a big fan of that. And also another reason, it gives, in fact, sometimes too clean strokes, and it doesn't work for organic things. Trust me. At least for this kind of stuff. Of course, for other things it can be interesting, but for that one, an effect which is missing perhaps in ZBrush is a kind of contrast, just to analyze. It's a too big brush that I'm using right now. My radius is too big for what I'm doing. And also I should spend more time in these, for these hairs. Clay polish. You see it start to look better that way now. You see, like that, and I can continue, of course. Like I said before, I can work on that one. Where is, yeah. I just want to work on multiple areas just to show things, and perhaps in between adding more. I don't know yet. Let me use this Akaki-san brush. Yeah, this brush is great to do some folds. I should use it more. I mean, I put it because I want to use it more, but let me just go back to, you have the up crack, which is fine also to do all these kind of splits, which is sometimes a bit too strong. Feel free to try multiple brushes. Perhaps I will go with the up crack for this part. You see, I just want to do, you see, this kind of separation in between. And no, I will do something else. I will do something else. Let me pick this brush, and I will do something like that. I need to check on the other side. Yeah, then let me activate the backface masking. To be sure we just work on the front part, then brush. Let me, oops. And while I still have the control key pressed, I'm going in the auto masking and enabling the backface masking. If I don't press the control key, it will work with the current brush. Then where is my limit? Yeah, I'm not sure it would be a good idea. Then I will do a quick test. Perhaps I will just sculpt it. And now, yeah, my concern is it won't be a clean solution for that. Yeah, because if I inflate what I have right now, going in deformation and inflate, it will be kind of random mess everywhere. Then I think I will need to sculpt that. I have no other way. Just to sculpt this thickness by taking care of using a small brush or the backface masking to avoid going on the other side of the model. Applying some smoothing on it. The idea is to build the volume. Let me change of having another material. And another reason about using brushes, it sometimes gives to your model more natural look, because if you're looking with, let's say, parametric settings, like I wanted to try before an inflate, the risk is unfortunately that your look will be very too much regular and again not natural. That just doing some tests right now, going back with my ZBrush. I'm lacking of resolution right now, in fact. And then with Alt key press, I'm doing the opposite. And I can do some very quick fake folds. Then taking a step back and see what it looks like. Sorry. I'm sorry for all my mistakes in English. Don't forget that it will be visible as something like let me check with the hips. Oh, the arm. Yeah, a little bit. It will be smaller than what you have on your screen right now. And it will be something like this size. Then if I'm doing some folds and things like that, it needs to be way more visible. But right now it looks more like rocks, and I need to give some more tissues, not tissues. What is the name? Not fabrics effect. It's too long, and yeah. But the idea is to do everything like that, then going around. Checking that I don't go on the other side because of the clay brush, which can very quickly grab what is on the back of thin thickness, like that one. Again, I didn't finish the hairs because I know I will do that offline, because it's always the same process, but I wanted to show you what is this process. And at the end, this is all these small details which may not be very visible, but which will do the difference in terms of global visual aspect on the model. Then yes, doing all these kind of things may be time consuming, but you have no choice. If you really want to have something which looks great, coherent, nice, you need to do all these kind of small things. Yeah, perhaps my English is fine, but I'm doing way too much mistakes, grammar mistakes, and my accent is very French. Of course. My damn ZBrush. Let's continue. What is the time? I will stop soon. Clip it up. I will finish with that, and I just do all this part, and then I will finish for today. Let me switch to solo mode. Yeah, you see the problem with large brushes. You start to have some issues. And I need to undo everything and start again, because my brush is too large and then it's grabbing the back part of my model. And now, yeah. I need to be more careful doing that in multiple iterations. And this is where I may need my brush and using my backface masking. You can remove it for the other one, and now it should be better now. I can fix the bad part as well. My damn ZBrush, don't forget that. I think I will need to rework as well this part that I'm doing way too quickly. Okay, I'm close to be done. I will look at the chat. If you have some questions before the end of the stream, please prepare them. If possible, related to what I'm doing, it will be better, but well, I can also reply some off-topic questions. Yeah, I'm done with that so far. Yeah, you see, it starts to take a lot of time to do all these small parts. Why do you have some materials for everything? It shouldn't be like that. Let me switch to my standard brush, material, fill object. Let me do that for everything, because it shouldn't be like that. I don't know why do we have materials on. And it's saving now. I will look at the chat very soon. I'm just finishing that, I'm saving, and have a look at the chat. And these parts. Okay. And that's it for now. Again, I need to work on the legs and everything. Can I save that? Oops. Control Z. I subdivided which parts? Okay, the shoes for nothing. Which one was a good one? Look. I do Control D and not Control S, which is of course adding too many polygons. Then Control S, 42. Okay, then in the chat, thank you for the comments on my accent. Yes, Bekamud, yes, I could have just isolate my polygroups, meaning hiding the polygroup which is below, I mean on the bottom part under the skirt. I could have done that, yes, that's a good proposal, and not using backface masking, you're right. Yes, I know, more than 4 GB. And what I will do is I will delete my history, because I don't care, to be honest. Delete history. And which one is a big one? Let me check. 58, 2, 6, 109, 61. I'm using the down arrow key just to select the next subtool, and then I'm doing a delete history. I don't know why it's so big for this project. It shouldn't be that big. I know I have a lot of polygons, but not as much as it should be. And I don't think the typos mesh is a reason why. No history, no history. That one. Okay, then let's save again. Yeah, 5 GB is way too much. Okay. Swanmanship PTV. Yes, this is ZBrush. Someone replied to that. This is a digital sculpting and painting software. The price, the full license is at $795. And you have also another version, which is ZBrush Core, which is more, let's say, a light version of ZBrush. I don't like using light because it's not really a light version of ZBrush, because you have all this core functionality of ZBrush, which is way more than the light version of the software. A streamed down version of ZBrush, let's say, at $149, and with $50 extra for $199, you can have Intro 3D from Wacom, which is a pen tablet and the software at the same time. And of course, you have a 45 days trial version of ZBrush, without any limitation. You can save, export, etc. for 45 days on pixologic.com, and then you have the trial in the menu of ZBrush. Yeah, this is a type of project I would like to print at a very large size. Right now, again, I said I'm working at a fifth of the size. This is a matter of resolution for the printer, not the resolution, but the volume, the build volume, sorry, of the printer, which is 135 by 135 by 175, if I remember, for the Form 2, then you can start to print large parts. The problem is, of course, you can print very, very large parts, but you need to print way more. And the problem, my concern is not to print by itself, but all the post-process that you will need to do after, meaning sending. Then the bigger, the larger the part, sorry, you need to send. This is for me the whole post-process, which is kind of annoying. Then this one, I hope to print something like that size. Perhaps I will do a second iteration later to improve some details. And of course, the bigger you print, then the bigger will be your detail. Then you will need to reduce this need of high contrast between small details when you are doing small prints. Then I don't know yet. To be honest, you see my door, which is here, and this is some kind of perhaps more project I want to do. Is where is my Han Solo? Sorry, this is not related to this current project, but you see on my screen, let me switch to the larger one, and I hope about not forgetting, you see. This is Han Solo in Carbonite. This is a project I did myself. In fact, I've been to the Star Wars Identities exhibition, which was in Paris some years ago. Right now, this is in London at the O2. I'm expecting to go at the end of June, go back there because I'm working on the Imperial Star Destroyer, the Avenger, which is a 3D printing project. I hope to do a 1 meter long Star Destroyer, and then at that time I did some photo and I did a quick scan, a photogrammetry scan of this model. Directly, it was of course in bad quality because the show is really in the dark and very bad conditions to take the photos. And I would like to do this just at a full scale, this model, and put it on my door. And then I will use, of course, my FDM printer and doing a lot of parts. I'm really thinking about doing that, to be honest. But again, my main problem is to do all the post-process. I will need to send a lot of parts, gluing, fixing, using putty, sending again, painting. I mean, it's a huge project. It's not even the cost, because you see on the back, this is just, this is only the, you see, it's a small part. This is not that much in terms of material. Perhaps I will have 4 or 5 kilograms of plastic, which is something like $150, which is not that much considering the size of the thing that you want to print. Unfortunately, yeah, this is the time it will take. And for that, my printer will be good enough, because my Ultimaker 2 Plus, which is an extended model, then I can print up to 30 centimeters for the high. Then Harrison Ford is 1 meter 85 centimeters tall, and it fits the door, no problems. I will just need perhaps to slice a little bit just below, or just scaling a little bit down, but it should fit fine. The problem is I need to convince my wife. Even if it's my office, I need to convince her. Anyway, let me look about everything else. Yes, I know I can save without the undo history, like my quick save. My quick save is set in the preferences. If you go in preferences, sorry, let me hide, go back to ZBrush. In the preferences, you have in quick save, you can skip history when saving, which is a great way to save without taking care. But to be honest, I save my project as a project because I want to have everything. But most of the time, I do what? I do this ZTL file. Not, sorry, I'm not in the good location. To be, oops, no, which version it was? 40 already? I don't remember which was the number. Oh, 42 already. Okay. And I prefer saving anyway ZTL file and not project because of the history. To be honest, I'm doing all of that because I'm doing a presentation, doing a live stream. But personally, I'm saving a project just once in a while, and most of the time this is just a ZTL file. And yes, I have 32 millions of polygons, and I'm not done because I need to rework this part, some part here. I will add some extra details, and it will be, I need to add more details on the shoes as well. And like I said, it will be something like 40 millions of polygons at least for the model. Of course, I won't print 40 millions of polygons. Okay, then thank you. Do you have a store at all? No, not a store. I mean, it's not my business at all. I'm just doing that just because I love that. I mean, doing 3D printing and sculpting. I mean, 3D printing for me is a kind of great addition for all the digital artists. I mean, 3D digital artists, because again, you have something in your hands. I mean, even if you have VR headsets, which are great, but being able to touch something and see with your own eyes, nothing is better. And it's a great way to do art. And all the artists I know who did the first step of trying 3D printing, not even owning a 3D printer, but sending their 3D model, let's say, to Sculpteo or Shapeways or whatever the company, and receive a print. I mean, it's something different. The only thing which is great for me is I'm able, during my project, to do 3D print and see, okay, if it's working, not working, if it's off or good to go, fine. Then for me, this is great. While you are printing your project, you kind of surprise what you will receive. And of course, I know my printer, I know my printers, sorry, I know what can work or not working, and it's easy for me to fix and improving my model. Did you see? No link for me. Pixel Design 3D about Formlab launch in 14 days. In a couple of weeks. I don't remember the date exactly, but you have a Fuse, which is a kind of series of events organized by Formlabs. Perhaps they will announce something. I don't know yet. I don't think they will announce a new printer, to be honest. Perhaps I'm wrong, but the Form 2 is still in the middle of its life, and I think it would be risky to announce another product so earlier in for the company. But well, I don't know. And they announced a few days ago their new system about cleaning the print in the IPA alcohol, and to cure the model, which is, in my opinion, very expensive for artists like us. But if you are in production, it would be great. Let me check the link. Yeah, this is this Fuse stuff. Yeah, this is, oh yes. I didn't saw that. I don't know. It seems to be small for a printer. Perhaps a new printer, perhaps not a SLA printer, perhaps a DLP printer. I don't know, because it develops a preform version which is able to produce the outline. I don't know. You think about something totally different. I don't know. We will see. I will keep an eye on that. Okay, then, thank you very much for being with me tonight. I know it has been a very long stream as usual. Next one will be anyway presented as 3-hour streams. Don't forget to look at my previous sessions that I did. Then I just copied past the link in the chat about all my past presentations. This one should be online soon, probably Tuesday. Then just stay tuned to ZBrushLIVE. You have Shane Olson, if I'm not wrong, after me, of course, later, more at the end of the day, US time, the evening. You have other artists and great artists, and to be honest, there is nothing better than seeing the artist in actions, and of course you're able to ask questions. Of course you need to have an account on Twitch. It's free, just subscribe. And and don't forget to look at the Z Classroom at our YouTube channel. You have also Joseph Dross, who is doing every week, almost every day, Ask ZBrush videos, which are just answer to your own questions that which are asked on Twitter. Sorry. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter, social medias, etc., etc. Then this is the best way to learn the application. We have, of course, interesting things in store for you. Anyway, and if you are interested about streaming with us, if you are a ZBrush artist in different industries, it can be jewelry design, it can be advertising, whatever, just connect on ZBrushLIVE.com. You have us on the right, a small button, and you can click on the link and fill a form, send it to Kyle, who will be happy to answer to your request, and perhaps you will be one of the next streamers. Our goal is to perhaps one day being able to do 24 hours a day, just live stream about ZBrush. Then thank you very much, and on my side I will tell you see you next week, same time, same day, Sunday at 12 p.m. PST or 9 p.m. French time. And thank you very much. See you later. Bye bye.